Hello, 7th graders. It's Mrs. Ditmar here again today. We're doing Learning Target 2C, our first day of it, writing and evaluating powers and exponents. All right, there we are on our study guide. All right, we've got powers and exponents. A power is a way to write repeated multiplication. A power is a product made of repeating factors. The exponent tells how many times the base is used as a factor. So we've got our little example down here. The b is the base. That small 8 is the exponent. b to the 8th is our power. All right, why don't you fill in those missing words at the top of your video guide, and when you're done you can unpause the video. All right, so pause it, fill those in. All right, welcome back. When we're reading powers, if I've got 4 with that little 2 behind it, that really means that I'm going 4 times 4. I would call that 4 to the second power, or sometimes we say 4 squared. Both are right. I could also have 9 with a little 3 behind it. That little 3 means I'm taking 3 nines, so 9 times 9 times 9. And that's going to be 9 to the third power, or 9 cubed. Right? I could also do this with a variable. I've got y to the 5th power here. All right, so that's 5 y's. Y times y times y times y times y. And like I said, that's y to the 5th power is how we would read that. All right, if we are writing the product as a power, this time I've got 5 times 5 times 5. So I have to count. I've got 1, 2, 3 5s. So I'm going to write that as 5 with an exponent of 3, 5 to the third power. All right, I could do this with a variable also, like I just had on that last slide. X times x times x times x times x. I have 5 x's here, so that's going to be x to the 5th power. All right, well then we've got one more here, these 7s. This is on your video guide, all 3 of these are. Why don't you figure out this last one and fill it in, and we'll check it in a minute. So why don't you just hit pause and fill in that top row on your video guide. All right, welcome back. So down here we've got 7 times 7 times 7 times 7 times 7 times 7. So that is 6 7s. So that should be 7 to the 6th power. All right, if we're evaluating a power, 11 squared, or 11 to the second power, is really 11 times 11, which gives us 121. All right, if I'm doing 2 to the 5th power, this is 5 2's, so 2 times 2 is 4, times 2 is 8, times 2 is 16, times 2 is 32. All right, there are a couple more on our sheet here. Let's look at this. Negative 3 to the third power. This one you have to think of the rules for multiplying with negatives, right? Because it's really negative 3 times negative 3 times negative 3, because here that negative is attached to the 3. The whole thing we are taking to the third power. All right, and then the fourth one, we've got 241 to the first power. I want you to figure out 3 and 4. Give it your best guess. Work it out on your sheet, and then we'll check the answers in just a minute. So hit pause and try those two. All right, welcome back. So like I said, that number 3, if we've got negative 3 times negative 3 times negative 3, you have to think, is your answer going to be positive or negative? Well, you've got 3 negatives there, so it's going to be negative. And then 3 times 3 times 3 is going to be negative 27. If we have something to the first power, that really just means for number 4, I have 241 and nothing more. It's not multiplied by anything. It's just 241, so it's just 241. One is a little bit trickier now. We're going to use less than, greater than, or equals to. On the left side here, negative 3 squared. It's not really negative 3 squared. It's the opposite of 3 squared. Because on the left side, that negative is not part of what we're squaring. If you look at the left side and the right side, see how on the right side that negative is inside the parentheses? It's attached to the 3. We're going to square it when it's attached to the 3. On the left side there, we're just squaring the 3 and taking the opposite of that. All right, so the opposite of 3 squared. Well, 3 squared is 9. The opposite of 9 is negative 9. And then on the right side, we're taking negative 3 squaring. So negative 3 times negative 3 gives me positive 9. All right? So this one is going to be negative 9 is less than 9, or really the opposite of 3 squared is less than negative 3 squared. All right, number 2 here, 2 to the 4th power and 4 to the 2nd power. I want you to copy this into your video guide. Actually, I'm going to have you copy this number 1. I know the number's messed up, but number 1, copy this into your number 8. Show the work and everything, and then copy number 2 and work it out. See what you get. All right, so pause the video, copy those down, and then when you're done, unpause it, and we'll go through it. All right, welcome back. So 2 to the 4th power, we have 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. So 2, 4, 8, 16, right? On the right side, we have 4 squared. It's just 4 times 4. 4 times 4 is also 16. So these two here are equal. All right. All right, I'm going to have you work on these ones and then bring these to class tomorrow, all right? So these ones have variables in it. I want you to figure out x to the 4th when x is a negative 4. This is another tricky one. You're going to have to look at that. Is the 4th power applied to the whole negative 4 or just to the 4? See what you think. You're going to have to really think on that one. That's a tricky one. And then the other one, so that's number 10. This would go on number 11. Y to the 3rd when y equals 7. All right, copy those down, show some work, really think those through, and bring those to class tomorrow, all right? So pause and write those down, work them out. And then we got one more slide. All right, hit pause. All right. Last thing, we've got our 3, 2, 1 like we always do. It's on the back of your sheet. 3 things that you learned or were reminded of, 2 connections that were made, 1 question for tomorrow. All right, look forward to seeing you guys in class tomorrow. Have a good one.